Today we're going to be talking about order of operations and how to deal with numbers with exponents. Now, trying to refer back to pre-algebra, when we see something with an exponent, and that's where we're going to start with numbers with exponents. So you can see we have whole numbers, decimals, fractions. When we see 4 to the third power, this means that this quantity is being multiplied 3 different times. 4 times 4 times 4. And we can identify that. We put that in our calculator. And how we could put that in our calculator if we want to do it by hand, we would type in 4. And there's a caret button that looks like kind of like an upside down, like a little triangle sign. And then you put a 3. That answer will give you 64. With 5 to the 4th power, we would need to write out 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, which in our calculator would be 4 caret, whoops, wrong way, 5 caret 4, and we would get 625. Now, these numbers are kind of common to math people. I've just come to memorize some of those. I have not memorized 6.3 to the 5th power, though. So this is where I am going to type in 6.3 caret 5 and see what that comes out to be. I'm going to show you, put the calculator up here just to show you how easy this is. So I'm going to type in the 6.3. The caret button is this button right there. And then I hit a 5. So it kind of looks like this. Hit equals. And we get this answer of 9,924.365, which if I want to go to 2 decimal places because that's a 5, I'm going to round up to 9,924.37. Now I get to the fractions. Believe it or not, and some of you, this is hard to believe, do you think fractions are harder than decimals? I'm here to prove you wrong. Now this is also 2/3 times 2/3 times 2/3 times 2/3. We write that out 6 times. Now this is simply 2 to the 6th power which equals, I believe it, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. 3 to the 6th power, I don't remember that one offhand, is 729. So the answer to 2/3 to the 6th power is 64 over 729. And that's how we can evaluate things with exponents using our calculators. And it definitely helps. Now we're talking about order of operations, something that we're going to be using for the rest of our lives. I know I'm not on Facebook a lot, but I have seen, hey, solve this problem, and I see all my friends and family can get these problems wrong. So there are different rules that we have to follow when we're using order of operations, when we have things written, longer problems. So most of you remember the phrase, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That is the order. The please, it's parentheses. Anything in parentheses we want to do first. Whether they're the parentheses like this, or if they're brackets, or even, maybe have 2 sets of parentheses. In that case, we work inside out. Excuse. Whoops. These exponents. Any exponents we want to do second. My dear, multiplication and division are solved in order. The division is a form of multiplication in algebra. It's just multiplying by the reciprocal. So we do those in order. And then finally, Aunt Sally is adding and subtracting. Whoops. Not Aunt subtract. Sally, this is adding and subtracting. Now subtracting is just adding opposites. And we'll talk about that later in the year. So there's the order and what we do. So let's look at problem number 1 that's listed here. We have 6 minus 2 in parentheses to the third power divided by 4. So first of all, please, do we have any parentheses? Yes. When you're doing these problems, I expect you to do every step. If you don't know what, since this is in parentheses, we have to do this first. 6 minus 2, which is 4. Everything else gets written down. We must write this down in a vertical mode, in a vertical sequence. Now, no more parentheses. We do have exponents. Let's do 4 to the third power, which is 64. Now finally, 64 divided by 4 is 16, and we get our final answer there. So there's 1, 2, 3 computations we need to do. 1, 2, 3 lines of information that must be shown when we do these problems. Number 2. 2 to the 4th minus 1, all divided by 5. Now, when we have a fraction, this is a kind of parenthesis. It's a kind of a grouping. We are grouping the top first. We are grouping the bottom. And then this fraction bar means to divide. So you can think that there's parentheses around the top and the bottom. So again, that's what we need to do first. So inside these parentheses, 2 to the 4th power is 16. We've done nothing with the minus 1, and the 5 is all by itself already. The next step, 16 minus 1 is 15 divided by 5. I'm starting to run out of room here on the screen. And 15 divided by 5 is 3. So again, 1 computation, 2 computations for subtraction, and the 3rd computation to get our final answer. So there's 3 lines of work. Number 3. Plus 3 squared plus 4 times 5. This problem, there is no parentheses, but we do have exponents. So we have to do this one first, 3 squared, or 3 to the 2nd power, which is 9. Now we have addition here, multiplication. This is the second part we need to do, 4 times 5, which is 20. Now this is addition. Do everything left to right. 9 plus 9 is 18. And then 18 plus 20 is 38. And that's how we get our final answer. Now there's one more problem listed on your sheet. This is up to you to do. This is your do now. This is what you're going to complete on your own to show me in the morning. This problem right there. Good luck and see you next time.